Hello guys, welcome back. I hope you are doing great. There are many open source large language models as well as other many open source projects released every day, right? What if we use different open source project to create a simple ChatGPT-like UI? So in this video, I will show you how you can use the Falcon large language model. We will be using the Falcon 7B instruct model from Hugging Face website, and we will use LangChain as the web framework, and we will deploy that using the Chainlit. So first I will show you how you can run this in a Jupyter notebook, and then we will convert that Jupyter notebook into the Python file, and we will have a simple ChatGPT like UI as you see on the screen, where user can ask question and there will be a chatbot providing answer for us. This video is going to be a little bit long because I will explain you step by step. So by the end of this video, you will be able to create a simple ChatGPT like UI. Let's get started. Okay, so now we are on the GitHub page of the repo that we are going to go through in this video, right? So what will you do once you land on the GitHub repo? First, I recommend you to go through the simple about things, like it is a simple chat UI using Falcon model, LangChain and Chainlit, right? After that, I recommend you to go through this readme file and have a glance at least once before you start using that particular repo. So here it is saying that it is open source in action. As I said, we are using Falcon as large language model, LangChain as the web framework, Falcon model from the Hugging Face website, and Chainlit for deploying the things. Right, all the links is being provided here, and the system requirements is Python 3.10 or later, and here are all the steps that you can use to replicate these particular steps that I'm going to go through now, right? So, by the way, I have already created the video about Falcon, as you can see here, and I have created many LangChain videos. I hope you know that, right? And then I have also created the video about Hugging Face. So I have already gone through all the topics, but I haven't created an actual app. So I thought this is the right time to create an app using all the different technologies that we have. So why I'm using Chainlit is because this is an open source Python package that makes it incredibly fast to build and share large language model apps. It will create the chat UI for us. There are also the Gradio that I had used before, which is used to build and share delightful machine learning applications. And there is also the Streamlit, a faster way to build and share data apps. But in this particular case, we are going to use Chainlit because with just few lines of code, we will have a clean looking UI for us to have a conversation, as you can see here. So yeah, what are the steps now? As I am mentioning here, you can either fork this repository and create a code space in GitHub, or you can clone it locally. If you are new to this GitHub Codespace, I have already created the video about Codespace also before. You can refer to that. But now let's go and see how we can do this in Codespace, right? So if you see the code here, if you click this drop down, it will show here local and Codespace, right? So if you want to go through locally, please go through this and copy this and follow the steps mentioned here. Or if you want to go with Codespace, you need to click this Codespace and this plus icon here. It says create a Codespace on main. Main meaning that I am here on the main branch. So for you also, if you want to go with the Codespace also, what I recommend you to do is go and fork this repository, meaning that it will create your own copy of this particular repository. So that is how you can modify things and all the different things, right? So here I can go here and plus icon. It is going to create a Codespace project for me. So as you can see here, this is a VS Code on the browser provided by GitHub Codespace. So we don't need to worry about anything. Everything is going to be set up for us on the cloud. So as you can see here, it says welcome to Codespace, and it created a virtual environment somewhere on the cloud. And this is all the things that is mentioned here. And this is the README file that I just showed you in the GitHub repo, right? I can close this for now. And just to show you how you can navigate, if I close this terminal, you can open this terminal through this keyboard shortcut also, or on this top left corner. If you see here, there is this menu icons, and from here there is terminal. You can create a new terminal and it pops up here. As I said you in the beginning, we will first go through the IPython notebook, and then we will go through the Python code, right? For that, if you see here, there is LangChain _ Falcon IPYNB. So that is the notebook inside VS Code, right? So if you click this, there is this thing popped up here, and it says here, do you want to install the recommended Python extension? You can say yes. Then it is going to install the necessary things for us. When this is installing behind the scene, we can just ignore this for now. And I also provided this open in collab link here. If you just want to go through this particular GitHub repo, and if you don't want to follow all other things, you can just click this open in collab, and it will open this in Google Colab. And for Google Colab also, I created a video earlier. Please refer to that. Why? By the way, I didn't knew that we can have the open in collab icon already in the non-collab created notebook. And it was actually good for me also to know how I can integrate this. So now what we need to do first, as in my earlier videos also, we need to install the necessary packages, right? So here I am installing the necessary package. Let me install, because I haven't installed. I just started with you. I hope you are also following. I can run this, and it says here, install suggested extensions, Python plus Jupyter, right? That is how it shows you when you start Codespace in the beginning. I can say yes. And now it is going to install the Jupyter extension as well as Python extension behind the scene, right? So here it is going to install. As you can see here, it is detecting the kernel. And now let me see if it accepts or not. It's running everything. Let me see what I can do. Can I select the kernel? Yes, I can select the kernel, and that is Python environment. So here Python 3.10. And once I select this, it will show here Python 3.10.4. right? And now if I run this, for running, you can either click from here. This is the icon which is run by line, or you can just type shift and enter. It will run and go to the next cell. If you just want to run it without going to the next cell, it is control and enter. Okay, as you can see here, it runs that cell in 3.8 seconds, and it went to the next cell. You can even run it from this icon here. So execute the cell, meaning that it will execute the cell. Let me run this for now. If I execute, it is going to execute the shell. Let me close the terminal for now so that you see all the things. So as you can see here, when I run this, this is the way to show that this is done by you, right? So the author is my name here. And because I see most of you asking me what is the Python version you are using, and what are the different packages version you are using, and these things, and what is the OS you are using. So this is the good way to explain people that, okay, I am the author and I'm using the Python 3.10.4, IPython version is 8.12.0, and LangChain version is this, Hugging Face Hub version is this, and the compiler OS is Linux, and all the different things. So if something goes wrong, please follow these things and it will work for you. What next, right? And then we need to, because as I am showing this, you exactly the same what is mentioned in the LangChain website. So this is what I am following. I install this, and now I'm going to pass the Hugging Face Hub, and we will take the Falcon model from the Hugging Face Hub, and so on. So right, I'm here, right? So what next? We need to have the Hugging Face token. If we use the OpenAI model, we need to have the OpenAI API key, right? But we are not going to use the OpenAI. We are going to use the model from the Hugging Face Hub. So we need to pass the Hugging Face API token. So for that, you need to go to the Hugging Face website. You need to log in first, and once you are logged in, you need to go to this icon here on the top right corner and go to this settings link. And here you can see that there is this SS token. and you can create the SS token if you don't have already. And you can just copy this, you go back to the code space, and then if you just run this with shift enter, there are many ways to run. As you can see here, it is running by this blue line, it is showing it is running, but there is nothing down here. But if you notice, there is something popped up on the top of this page. So there is where we paste that particular Hugging Face API token. I will do Control V and enter. Now we have the Hugging Face API token provided for this particular notebook. Now let's use the Falcon 7B instruct model from the Hugging Face website. If you click this link, it will open a new tab. As I said before, we will be using the Falcon 7B instruct. Why this model? It is because if we are looking for a ready to use chat or instruct model, then we can use the Falcon 7B. I'm using the small one. There is the big brother also here. As you can see here, Falcon 40 billion. You can go with that also. I'm not going with that for now. So what we need to do is we need to go and take this ID. So a Falcon 7B instruct is the ID we need to provide. So here I'm passing repo ID is that particular thing from there. And we need to also pass this TIIUAE. Let's not save this, because as you see here, that is the username, right? So if I go back here, I need to first import Hugging Face Hub from LangChain, and there is the large language model. Now we have Hugging Face Hub, and this is how we can provide Hugging Face Hub API token is what we provide from here, right? And repo ID is the repo ID we have here. And the model keyword arguments is just temperature 0.7. You can play around with this. Maximum new token is 700. You can also play around with this. If I now run this with shift enter, it should run, right? It is showing some error about TQDM. We don't need to worry about that. So yeah, now we can run the model. So from LangChain, I have prompt template and LLM chain. That is how we do, right? And there is a template. You are a helpful AI assistant and provide the answer for the question asked politely. You can provide whatever you want here. The question here is, we just pass the question, and answer is, let's think step by step. That is what we provided as a template, right? So now we have the prompt, and we need to provide prompt template, and the template is the template that we just created, and the input variable is the question, right? And the LLM chain is LLM chain that we just imported. We need to provide the prompt and the large language model. That is how we chain, right? And there is the question, how to cook pizza, and we need to print the answer now, right? So if I run this, it will go through the model and print the output for us. Let's see how much time it will take. It shouldn't take that much. As you can see here, it says, okay, start by preparing the dough for a pizza and all the different things. So this is what the answer it is showing for us. It's not that bad, right? We just write few lines of code and we are not paying anything. All the things are open source and we get the answer from here. So this is how we can create a simple chat things that we created using the Falcon large language model. What we will do next is I will show you one way how you can convert this IPython notebook into the Python file, and we will implement the Chainlit and create a chat UI using it. Okay, now we write the IPython notebook and now we need to convert that into the Python file, right? For that, let me open a terminal. From here, we go to the terminal, right? I will show you all the things step by step so that you can follow around. So what you can type here is you can type Jupyter nb convert -- to script, right? And then you can give the name of the Python file. What is the name? It's LangChain _falcon.ipynb. But before running this, I want to rename the already existing file because it will overwrite that particular file, and I don't want to overwrite this one which I have already created for you. So let me go here and rename, and let me give this one for now, right? So now when I run this particular, do not show it again. When I run this particular thing on the terminal, if I run enter, it will say here that converting notebook this to script, and it says writing 1601 bytes something, right? And if you see here, there is new thing appeared here called LangChain falcon.py, right? Let me close the terminal for now. So yeah, this is the thing that is being created from that particular IPython notebook. So with just one line of code, we converted that IPython notebook to the Python notebook. And now you need to clean this notebook because all the things doesn't work because we had these magic commands and all the different things. But this is how quickly you can convert from one file format to another file format. But let me go to the one that I have already cleaned for you. So this is the LangChain underscore Falcon 1, right? Let us go with the 1, no problem for now. So what we do, now we are going to create the Chainlit UI chat, right? So here we need to import the necessary things. That this is exactly what we did in this IPython notebook, but now it is in the Python file. And one thing what you need to notice now is before going through this, we imported or we downloaded the package from the pip install kind of things here, right? But if you don't want to follow this IPython notebook, we didn't install anything, right? But we need to install something to write. As you can see here on the documentation also, which I provided for you, LangChain, yeah, here. What I said here is first you need to provide the Hugging Face API key and then install the necessary things. Now let's follow that. So as you can see here on the left, we have the requirements.txt and there is example.env. So if you click this, here it says that we need to provide your Hugging Face API token, right? So first thing first, I said that you need to rename this, right? You can right click, rename, and just remove this example and there will be just .env. So that is fine with the click and rename, but you can use CP also in the terminal. And we need to go to the Hugging Face website again and get the API key, go back to the Codespace, and here with this thing you can just do Control V. I'm just showing you the API key because I'm going to regenerate again. Control S. Now that is saved, right? Now we can go back to the file and now we need to go, not this one but this one, right? Now we need to again open the terminal. Here, go to terminal. So what is the next thing that we need to provide? So we followed this part here. Now we need to install. Just copy this command from here, go back to the terminal and just run. Okay, it says copy terminal settings. Okay, I need to go to the here and say yes. Okay, pip install, and if I run enter, it is going to install all the necessary things that I have mentioned in the requirements.txt. As you can see here, there is LangChain, Hugging Face Hub, Chainlit, and Python.env. Why .env? Is because I want to import the API token that I just inserted in the .env. For that, you need to provide from .env import .env, and then we need to load the environment variable. So this command and this command is going to load the environment variables. So how can we provide the environment variables? So now all other things are the same. This is what we did previously also, and there is the template and the question, and now here is just 1 or 2 lines of code where we can actually do the Chainlit part. So if you actually go to the IPython notebook, what we did here is we just copied this thing, right? So this is the thing that we had there. I will just copy this and I will just show you side by side. Let me make this smaller, and if I just paste it here, yeah, what is the difference here, right? So we have that from LangChain import from template we did on the top, so we don't need this, right? We don't need this. Let me delete this. And we have the template also here, so we don't even need this, right? So we have the prompt, we have the LLM chain, we have the prompt LLM chain, and this is what we did manually in the notebook, right? So instead of that, what we did here is create a function called factory, and then we return the LLM chain and we provide the decorator here @cl.langchain factory. From where I get this particular code, if you go to the Chainlit documentation, and here it says with LangChain. If you click this, there is all the different things it is being provided for us. So this is what we did also there. And here is the example @cl.langchain factory, and we just provide this. So after we provide this, what we need to do is run the app. That's all. So if I go here, I just save this particular file and I can go to the terminal, and the code is provided also here for you. You can just copy this, go back to the terminal. Let me clear the screen. So you can type clear to clear the screen. It's cleared, and you can just Control V, chainlit run app.py, but our file name is not app.py, right? So we need to change the file name. So our file name is LangChain underscore Falcon 1, right? Because we gave the 1 here. But if you are just following the notebook, let me just put Falcon here, and let me delete this file first, which I just run, and let me rename this so you are not confused. Okay, so this is the file that we are writing here, and I can just say Falcon, right? If I run this particular, it says chainlit command not found. Why? We already installed the chainlit, but it's still saying that chainlit command is not found. So if I say pip show chainlit, let's see if it shows that there is the file, but it is not allowing us to run the particular thing. What I discovered is that you need to somehow in Codespace, I don't know why, but you need to do sudo pip install chainlit, and you can even provide the particular version, that is, what is the version? 0.0, not 0 but 2.109. so if I run this, it is going to install, and okay, it takes some time to install. I'm showing you this while I'm debugging, so that if you get some error also, you can just follow what I did here, right? So it is taking some time to install the chainlit Python package. Okay, now it is installed. Let me clear the screen for you. Okay, there is some error here. Let me remove this. Let me save it. And here let me clear the screen, and if you do the up arrow in the keyboard, you can go through the previous commands, and we need to run this particular line, right? So if I run this, then you see that it says create a default config file. So when we run this particular file, it will create something here. If you notice here, there is this chainlit.md being created. So it says hello something here. So you can customize this as you need, right? And then there is a chainlit being created, where there is a .langchain.db, meaning the database is being created for us, and there is config.toml file being created. So everything is being copied, and it says here your app is now available at localhost 8000. If you hover on top of that, it will show here the link, follow link. If I click this, let me see. Okay, now you can see that it is opening on the browser itself, although it is saying localhost, because we have the code in the Codespace, right? So yeah, this is what I said, that why this is providing yes welcome to chainlit and all the different things, because as I said, this is the chainlit.md being shown for us. So if we just want to maybe delete something, let's say that we just want to have these things only here, and if I save this and if I go here, as you can see here, it just shows welcome to chainlit. So this one you can just customize according to whatever you want. And here, okay, here is the readme file, here is the chat, and on the top you can have a new chat. There is the dark mode and the light mode, and here you can ask the question. Let's ask the same question: how can I make pizza? Oh, capital A, no problem, it will understand, right? So it's using the LLM chain. That is what we are using to make pizza. First preheat your oven and all the different things. So what I can say is, can you provide me in bullet points? Let's see if it provides or not, because this is the large language model and it should follow our instructions. Yeah, it shows us the instruction. Okay, it provides us the information, but as you can see here, it does not make sense, right? So I just asked, can you provide me in bullet points? I want it to remember what I asked, but we haven't implemented the chat history part in this particular chatbot. So I need to give some context to it, right? So I can maybe say, can you provide me in bullet points how can I make pizza, right? So if I ask this, then it should provide me the instructions. And as you can see here, it says, okay, gather ingredients, pizza dough, tomato sauce, and all the different things. Yeah, I asked before without bullet points, and now it is showing me the bullet points. But I can be more specific and ask some other different things. So yeah, this is how it works. You can just play around with it. And the good part of this is if you go to this arrow here, show history, it will show you all the different history that you asked before, and you can just click this and have the conversation being provided to you. And on the top here it says new chat. You can just click this and it says this will clear the current messages and start a new chat. So you can do confirm or cancel. Let's do cancel for now. And now if you want to cancel this, you can just go to the terminal and do Ctrl C and it's aborted, or you can do Ctrl Z also. Let me see. If I run this again, it is going to run it here, right? Ctrl C does aborted kind of things, but loaded .env file, your app is available at this, open in browser, all the things. If you do Ctrl Z, then it is stopped. So there are two different kind of things. Ctrl Z is stopped, Ctrl C it is aborted. So I recommend you to go with Ctrl Z. And yeah, that's it. You have a clean looking UI, chat UI using Chainlit. We are living in a world where complex things are now being so simple, but you just need to know how you can implement. I hope you learned many things. There were many things to learn. Yeah, that's all for this video. Thank you for watching. If you are new here and haven't subscribed yet, please do so. There are many educational videos on the pipeline. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.